All right, thank you, host. Okay, good morning once more. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, front-end developers. Uh, Welcome to today's class. I would say, I think I always forget this thing. Our last class was the 7th, according to someone. I've not been counting. But then today is going to be the 8th class for front-end development, beginner. And looking at ourselves, look at what you can do, what you were able to do before KodeCamp, and then just check out yourself now and you see that, okay, it's not even up to a month yet. We started 7th of August and today is 31. So within just a month, you've been able to do all of this. You've been able to like write, code out a page on your own. So that's really an improvement. So um, I'm proud of us and I want us to keep it up like this. And trust me, before the end of this course, we're going to be opportune to work with designers directly, to collaborate, to reach out to, like, it's going to get really, really interesting. By then you understand the idea of working with a person who is not within you remotely, and then how it is like to work with designer, because it's going to get like, they are going to like drag you that no, this is not what I gave you. You understand? This is not what I gave you. So please try as much as possible to learn how to pay attention to details. And we don't really like designers coming into our DM and start complaining. No, developers don't really like it. So we try as much as possible to avoid all of those things. So, well, I won't spend much time talking about the previous. Let's just go straight into this class. It's going to be the Git and the GitHub continuation, right? Yeah, last week we treated the Git itself, and then the GitHub. What Git is about is like a version control, and then the GitHub as the GUI for Git, where you see all the changes you're doing. It's reflected, and then you can host your page on GitHub. So, and then we explained to ourselves how to configure, how to install, and how to download and install Git on our system, and how to configure it on our system with the help of our CMD, our terminal, our Git bash, and our window PowerShell, whichever one you are comfortable using. So yeah, and then we made a design, we had a design from the Figma that we were supposed to work on. We started working on it, I would say, and we completed it as our last class. And then it is expected that we replicate the same design, right? And then you submit it as your task. All right, but then we were not able to cover the aspect of creating a repository on GitHub and then initializing your project to be able to see that repository and then push into the repository. So that's what we are going to do today. So I'm going to just get straight into it. I'm coming. Let me open the Figma design, see what we have. Clients. Yeah, I've done this before. Figma. Let me just open this. So I'm going to start. This was what we did last week. Remember, we created a new folder for this project, and then we name it French Suite, right? Then we also created an image folder where we have the icons. We created a CSS file where we have the style, and then we have our index.html. And I would say this, let's try as much as possible to not forget that the first page, the entry point, yeah, entry point of our page, of our HTML should always be index.html. Don't worry about, let's say, for example, okay, this website given to you is starting from a sign up. Maybe the designer built or designed the website so that when a user opens the website, it's going to take them to sign up directly, just like we have it inside, just like we have our LMS. You know, when you open the website, it takes you to the sign up page or sign in page. So, but then you won't say because of that, you want to name your index, your HTML, sign up.html. No, right? Your entry point should always be index.html. All right, your entry point should always be index.html. And then after that, you can now start doing, so they call it landing page. Landing page is the page that the website is going to land to as soon as the website is open. The landing page should be index.html. And then after that, you can now have about.html, service.html, contact, or any other thing, but ensure that you have index.html as a landing page. All right, that's that. And then I'm waiting for this to open. Okay, I think it is. I'll just navigate to where we have that file. That's, yeah, client first template. So let's wait for it. All right, again, also I explained a few things last week, last class, about the alignment of our page, So this is what we have. I tried to explain why it is necessary to have all the children elements, a space inside, or how will I say, an alignment inside. There's this word we use in Microsoft that I've forgotten. Just a space inside of the parent. So it's just the way we have it here. For example, right image is parent to this image, these two images now. So right image is a parent. Image, they are both children in the right image. So they are one step inside. Instead of being on the same line, they are one step inside of the right image div, right? So now that will ensure that, okay, when you are closing out your tags, when you're closing out the element like this, then you're going to say, okay, that means I've properly aligned my code, because you can see now, if I open it, I'll see the children. If I close it, I'll see the opening and the closing tag. So that's how it's supposed to look like. And then if I should close the main, so that you see that, okay, I think we have a lot of children in the main, and then when we close it once, everything actually closes inside the main. Same thing as the HTML. If you close it, everything closes. All right, so let's learn how to like arrange our code like that, so that it's you can easily read it and interpret it to someone in case you want to explain to another person. So yeah, this is the design that we try to replicate. If you don't like, you are not in this class. Okay, so this is the design we try to replicate, and then we explain to ourselves that, yeah, the one we have been doing, the one we did last time, was a full page, right? But then this one, as you can see on the screen, you have a space to the right and a space to the left, a space to the left and a space to the right, right? So that means we just assumed, and by standard, a container, we assume that this and this is inside a container, right? So by standard container, you always have a width of 80%. That's by standard. Although some person will choose 85, some person will choose 90. Although I would say my own standard, let me not say by standard, but my own standard, I always take 80% as my container. If a design is not on a full screen, right? Which this one is not on a full screen. It's actually not starting from the, we have space like this, and we have an empty, a white space. So I assume that, okay, we can now wrap this inside 80% width. So that's what we did here. We created, okay, let's focus on the header first. So here we have header like this, and then we have a child, and then we have another child here assumed. So here we create the first one, which is the FinSuite logo, and then we create a navigation, which also contains two children, the UL and another right div. All right, so that is what we have here. Our header, yes. So this is the first one, which is the logo. This is the first child, and then this is the second child, which is the navigation. All right. So the first, the second. So now let's open the second now, and the navigation. The navigation also has UL, that's the first child, and right, that's the second child. So let me open the navigation. You see, you have the UL, the first child, and then the div, which is the right, and then that's the second child. So now looking at the design again, you see that, okay, our second child also has two children, which is the icon and the road assistant for this one. So we created two children inside also, inside our right contact, which is the right contact icon and then the right contact text. All right, so that's just how it is, how we're able to achieve. Then the styling is just to flex this, flex the header, then flex the UL, flex this right, and then do your styling, resizes, and all of those things. So that is very easy as that. Today's class is going to be really fast because I just want to touch the repository. I don't want to type too much into this one. So I want to touch the repository so that we can go and start working on our pages. So let me just go through the styling. So the styling here, we have header 80%. Because like I explained, this thing is not contained, it's not taking the full width of the window, right? So it's starting from here and ending here. So we assume this as 10%, this as 10%, and then we give this one as 80%. But if you give 80% only, let me just start this thing. Let me go live. So let's see what we have. All right, so this is what we have. I could not complete all of this. So maybe we can just do that today. So now I said, if I did not, let's assume I just pass width only, right? Then the page, look at it. Now the header is now floating to the left, right? But then it's still taking the 80% size. If I should give it a background color, you see it. Background color red. Let me save it. You see, it's still taking the 80% width, right? But then I don't want it to fall to the left. I want it to be at the center. That's where this one comes in, the margin. Already we know what margin does. Margin will give space between yourself and your neighbor. So like, for example, okay, I want this fin switch to have space between the wall. So I don't need it to be by the wall, right? So I need you to create space between myself and the neighbor. So that's why I need margin between the left. Like I need margin to the left, right? But then at the same time, if I should say margin left also, since I need margin to the left, let's see what will happen. All right, because I need margin to the left now, and I pass margin left auto. Auto means push it straight to the last position. That means push this thing straight from the left. I don't want it to be close to the left. Then you have to push it straight to the last position. All right, so that's why margin left auto does, because you can see it pushes it straight to the left. Sorry, to the right. Now again, I don't want this thing to still be close to the right. So what do I do? The best thing I can do, instead of calling margin left or maybe calling margin right again, I will just call margin. So that margin will now pick left and right at the same time, and then give them auto. So that auto will now give the same width, the same size for the left, and then same size for the right. So that's what this one does. So we now call margin, then give it auto. So as you can see now the left and the right are not fighting anymore. They are just sharing the space. Now, if left is taking 10%, right is also taking 10% equal. So now that's what the margin auto does. And then we give padding so that we can have space up and bottom. We give padding 14 pixels top and bottom, and then left and right 10 pixels. So that's just, but then I don't think I need this left and right, since I already have since I'm already using let me just do it this way, 0 for left and right. I already have, yeah, we don't need the left and right because I'm already within a width. So the only time I will need left and right is maybe I have, this one is having a background color. Then I may need the left and right because it's going to be showing that these things are too close. But then the background is white, so I don't necessarily need the left and right. All right, so let's just remove it. Save. And then after that, after styling the header, we now move to the logo. Font size, we increase the size of the logo. Or maybe we reduce the size of the logo, the fins width, right? So we give it 15 pixels. That's reducing the size actually. And then after that, we move to the navigations. This is navigation. This one and this one are the children to navigation. So we flex the navigation here, display flex, align item center, so that this and this is going to be at the center. Let me try something and see first. Let me remove this and then save it. Okay, it's still fine. All right, but then I'll appreciate or I'll prefer that that we have align item center, so that, well, even if it's not going to be at the center, the align item is going to forcefully force it to stay at the center. So the navigation and the right assistant is going to be on the same line. So that's what, in some cases, maybe your web wants to like rearrange your code or your display or something. The align item is going to force it to stay at the center. And then we give gap 20 pixel, which is this and this. All right, so then we now move straight into the UL. Well, already, if I should remove this is what we have, the display flex. So this is what we have, but then we need to flex it so that it's going to be beside each other, inline to each other. So that's why we gave it display flex, align items also center. Then column gap is between each of the UL, each of the list item. That's 40 pixel, 40, 40, 40. And then this border right is this, right? And then the padding is this one that we have here. So that's just how it works. If I should remove the padding, that border is going to be so close to the wall. As you can see, it's too close to contact. So I need padding to the right. And at the same time, I need padding up and bottom. So that's why we have to pass this padding top 5 pixel, padding right 20 pixel, because this is what we need space between this one. And then the bottom is 5 pixel, and then the left is 0 because we don't need any padding to the left. That's why we were able to achieve this. Then we now move to the last one, which is this. Here we have two children also, right? Okay. Nav dot right contact. I explained something last week also, how we have our arrangement in our CSS also determines how readable our code can be. All right. So because now I have, the way I have my HTML is that, okay, I have the navigation first. Then after that, I have the logo. After that, I have the nav, and then the UL, and then the right. So as you can see, that arrangement, that sequential arrangement is how you should try as much as possible to make your CSS also maintain that arrangement. You won't say because, okay, because I want to quickly style right contact, I will now copy nav.right contact and place it above header. That does not make any sense. When you want to go back and read your code yourself, it's going to get confusing. All right, so the best thing is to, okay, header first, then the header logo, then the navigation, then the UL, the list item, and then the right contact, just like that sequentially. All right, so the right contact is now having a flex to put this one beside this one. That's what we have here. And then align item center. That has been coming every time. Anything that has flex and it should be at the center, I like to put align item center. So it's going to force it to be at the center. And then column gap. Everything that is there, everything like this, all the styling, trust me, we have done everything before. The margin, the display, the spike content, align item, padding, font size, column gap, everything. We have touched it before we start using it now. So even the border right and everything, we've done it. So you don't have to get confused. If you're confused about anyone, go back to your code, the previous ones. You're going to see it there, however. So yeah. Now, why do we need all of this, right contact and right contact P? Because we need to reduce the size of these guys. They were too big. So we have to reduce the size to 14 pixels. Then we're able to achieve this one. That's all about our header. Then we now write a comment that we want to style the main, which is this one. This is the main. So we write a comment so that when I come back, or maybe when I share my code to someone, the person can know that, okay, yeah, this is the main styling. All right. So let's do that to this one also. Let's just give it a header styling. Header styling. All right. So the main styling is now okay. So the main, because our header is already taking about I'll say 9 view height. Okay, it's already taking about 9 view height. That's why we had to pass 991 view height to our main. Although sometimes we may not even need to use the view height anymore, the height anymore, because when you get to the level of doing responsiveness, mobile view of your page, then height may actually be a very big constraint. So in some cases, we may need to remove all of the height and then use something else. So, or we can even remove it, and then based on how we want our page to display, then we can now consider how we could arrange our CSS and our HTML. So yeah, we have 991 view height. We have width 80%, the same thing as the header. We have margin auto to centralize it, and then we have display flex so that this can be beside this. All right. The way I did it last week was to represent each of these div with a background color. So I'll see what I'm doing exactly, right? So that I won't get confused. I represented it with the background color. All right. So now we have flex direction column. No, not this. Not that. Okay, yeah, flex direction column. Why? 80, 80, 80. Okay. Okay. We have flex direction column, align item center, and justify content center. Okay, so let me give this background color so you guys will understand why we have the flex direction column. Background color. Okay, before that, yeah, let me just pass something green. Great. So before that, if you notice, yeah, our main is starting from here down to this place. And then the contact inside the main is not from here, from this area down to this place. The contact is in between. As you can see, the contact is in between like this. So then that's why we need to wrap the content, sorry. We have to wrap the content inside the div, and then we now flex our main. Let me save this so we can see it. So we now flex our main so that we can now decide what is this thing now is a child inside our main. Okay. So let me show you. Before we do the flex direction and this one, okay, and this one, and this one. Before we do any of this, let's see what we have. Okay, so you can see everything is like to the top. The content is actually starting from the top, right? But then we need the content to be at the center. Okay, so how do we even do that? To do that, just to display flex, pass display flex to your parent, which is the main. Okay, now main, I want you to, anything inside of me, I want you to arrange them in a flex display. Okay, but then if we just pass it directly and we did not wrap this one and this one in a div, then it's going to flex these two guys, and then there's no way it's going to push them to the center. We may get to understand that later, Sha. But then we have to wrap these two guys because we want the main to see these two guys as one. And then when it sees these two guys as one, it's not going to like decide whatever we pass to the main and decide it on top of this child. It's not going to see two children because we want both of this left to get your vehicle and the image to come to the center. All right. So now we assume we make the main to know that, okay, these two contents, the text and the image, is one single element, right? We pass the two inside the div. We now decide what we want the div to look like, how we want it to look like by saying, okay, div, margin auto, display flex. Then anything you have inside you, which is this container here, now give it a column, make it a column, right? Making it a column will now allow us to be able to use align item center. Okay, let me show you guys something. I'm expecting this to work too. Okay, so I actually did allow it. Okay, sorry, let me flex it. Okay, so well, in some cases, like I said, I just let me try if this is going to work without the flex direction column. So it actually did work because now we have both justified content and align items, right? So the align items will work um align item will work straight, like a straight line. That's vertically, while justified content will work horizontally. All right. So since we already passed the two, now it's going to work on it. So if we use the column, if we pass flex direction column, right, then the justified content will work there. Now, if we pass this display, if it is just normal row, which is not column, then align items will work in that case. So that's what we did here. So we can either use the column or just pass these two so that anyone that the flex direction decide to give the row or the column, then this one is going to work just as we want it. So let's not get confused, right? We did this because we need to push this content inside to the center of the main. Let me give this one a background color so we'll see what we are doing. Background color red. Let's save it. So as you can see, this is just what I'm trying to explain. So the container now is a child to the main. All right. So for us to be easily push it to the center, we have to wrap this one inside a div. All right. So that the main will now see this one as one, as a single child. And then the display flex flex direction, and then everything will now work too. On this one as a single child. And then because we pass align item center, justify center, now it's going to now push it to the center of the main. So that's what happened. And delete things and remove things also. So after that, we now move to the container itself, this one itself. So we need this one to take two children, which is this text and this image, all right? So then we flex it, we give it height 80% because it shouldn't be containing the whole main. If it is 100%, then it's going to contain the whole main, right? Let's try it. So it is 80% because we don't want it to contain the whole main. So let's assume we make it 100, or we even remove the height. Let's make it 100. You can see that it's going to contain the whole main. Yeah, as you can see. But this is not what we want. We don't want this thing to contain the whole main. We want it to be at the center. It's going to give space from the top and space from the bottom to the bottom. So that's why we have to pass 80% height to it. All right. So this is what 80% height does. And then we give it display flex to flex this one to be beside this one. And then what else? Background color red. No, this one shouldn't be there. So let's save it. All right, so now we have a container done, and then we focus on our left first before the right. So main container left text width 50%, 50% like this, and then the image part also I
can't see your screen though.
You can't see my screen.
No, we are seeing it.
I can see the screen from here.
Okay. All right. So if you cannot see my screen, maybe your network is bad or something. So now the left text, which is the left div here. So we gave it 50%, and we also gave the right div, which is the right image, 50%, height 100, height 100, right? 100, 100. 100, 100 is because the appearance, which is the container, is already taking 80%. So they will take the 100 relative height of the parent. So if you say 100%, that means contain your parent, full your parent. So that's what the 100 does. So and then display flex, just flex direction column, and then justify content center. Just the way we did for the main, where we want to push this one to the center. That's what we did. This is the content, that the text itself. So if I should give it a background color, you guys should see what I'm trying to say. Background color aqua. Let me save it. So this is it. So this is the content, right? The content here. So we needed to push the content also to the center. From the design that we have, we check it. We check the design again. You see that the content is at the center from get your vehicle to Monday. They are all at the center. So that's why we have to find a way to push our own content also to the center. By the time we add more things to this content, then it's going to look like what we have from the field map. So then that's what we did here. Let me move the color. And then the H1 is this one, but then we decided not to because we could not complete the class last week. So then the image part. Now we have width 50%, the same thing height. Then background color yellow. I think I should remove this. It's not working anymore. Then background image, this one. So I will explain some. I need you guys to do something for the image to show on GitHub. We need to route it. We need to get the relative the linking properly. So to do that, you have to pass 2 dots slash dot because GitHub will want to check. If you say slash now, VS Code will see it automatically because it is VS Code, right? But then GitHub will not see it. So the dot will now tell GitHub that, okay, GitHub, I want you to leave this folder and enter another folder and look for this. Like dot means, okay, this folder, jump out of this one, jump out of this one. That's just the meaning. Dot, this first dot now is not taking us to any place. That means it is still within ourselves. As you can see, all of the classes that we use. So that's what is actually telling us. Okay, we are still inside this style.css, the file. But then I want you to leave this file. So how do I do that? I'll pass another dot. That means now we are outside the file, right? So we are not seeing style anymore. We are outside style.css. Okay. So I need to now to actually get a folder, right? That's why we need a slash to tell VS Code that, okay, Now I need it to get inside a folder, but which folder we don't know yet until we pass the forward slash. Now after passing the forward slash, VS Code is now giving us the options of the folder that we can go inside at this point. Okay, so let me tell you guys something also. If we do slash dot again and then slash, then this thing is now going to go outside. It's not going outside our document, right? Because like I said, dot means go outside, do something. The first dot is, okay, look inside myself. The second one is check outside me, just immediately after outside me. And then this slash now, okay, that means we are done with this folder, right? Now go outside again. So now leave the folder. Instead of this one now is our project. This first slash is our project folder. But then we don't want to stop there. We want you to go outside our project folder, which is the fin suite. Then that's where this one comes in. The dot. The first dot is inside my project. And the second dot is outside. Now go outside my project. Okay. And then we now pass slash again, means now show me the folder you have inside this place. Remember, you cannot pass 3 dots. It has to be 2. 1 from the beginning and then 2 continuously. So 2. Now, as I am right now, I can see all my projects. Now, and the app, the check, the dApps, docs, fin suite, Flutter, all of those projects like this. So if now, this is my own fin suite. Okay, so now if I want to go out, I can still decide to go outside again, right? I can decide to go outside, like do dot again and then slash. Now I'm seeing something outside. So what I'm telling you guys is in some cases or moving forward, we may need to like create multiple folder inside a single folder. So in that case, for you to be able to route back to that folder, to link back to that thing that you're looking for, so you have to know how to use your dot. Dot means the first dot, check inside myself. Second one, go outside. Then you pass slash, right? 2 dots and a slash. Then that will bring out the folder you have inside that current directory. And then if you want to go outside again, dot again, slash. So that's just how it is. But then in this case, we are not looking inside this place for an image. We want to look inside our CSS, right? So the first thing, look inside me, then we cannot find any image here. So now check outside. Now step outside me, step outside the style.css, okay? Now, if you step outside the style.css, now it is inside the folder, our project directory. So now we now do slash. So now this one is now seeing the CSS folder, seeing the image folder, and seeing the index, which is inside the fin suite folder. Now we want to go inside the image. So we click inside the image. Now we are inside the image, and then we look for the image we want to use, which is this img.png. If I should save it, I'm still going to get the exact thing that I'm getting. So that's just, someone complained to me. Yeah, I forgot to mention it in the last class. We were rushing. So someone complained to me that the image was not showing. So that's why I need to like, okay, this is what you're going to do instead. So after that, background position, center, background size, cover, repeat, no repeat, and then position, relative. Why do we pass position relative? Because our children, this image also has 2 children, which is the service and the rating. And we want to use position for them. We need to, okay, let me show you guys. Let me save this. First, as you can see the service here, this is the service. This one is the service. What is this? So this is the quick service and this is the rating. So, and this is them. So we pass left 20%. That means left means I'm dragging you to the left side. If I pass a 0%, that means I don't want you to create space. Don't give space between yourself and the left. Top means don't give space between yourself and the top. Top is 0. Left is 0. That means stay at the left and then at the top. That means top left. Then right also is bottom right, means bottom right. So, but then if we leave it this way without passing this, relative will ensure that these 2 guys, which are children to this one, will not leave the box, because the absolute position, this property will actually make the service and rating things they are free. They will always think that, okay, I think since I'm absolute, I can actually stay absolutely anywhere, right? I can stay anywhere that I like based on the left and the top. And then if we save it, let's save it without the relative. So this is what we get. You can see they are now staying anywhere they like. They are misbehaving, but we don't want them to misbehave. We need to constrain them inside their parent. I don't want you to leave your parent, so stay inside your parent. Then what do we need to do? We need to pass a relative to the parent. So that means relative means, okay, do not allow anything that is absolute inside of you to live inside, to live you. Just make them, just capture them inside of yourself. All right. So that's what we need to pass this position relative. And then this is what we have after passing position relative. And then, like I explained, that the top is 0. Although this image is actually this part is the image is containing space on its own. That's why it cannot go straight to the top, right? But then that's not our concern. Okay, so we pass 20 minus 20% because we want it to like not just stay by the left, but at the same time enter the left. Just enter. I need it to enter. It's more like mathematics. Just enter the left. All right. If I should make it 20% like this, and let me save it, it's going to push it 20% to itself. Now it's pushing it like this, 20% from itself, 20% from the left. But I want you to stay. Let me make it 0. So this is 0, right? I want you to like enter inside the wall. That's what I need to pass. Like I said earlier, the image is containing some additional space itself. So that's why we are seeing this thing like this. Okay. So, but then if you are using an actual image that is not containing space on its own, then this thing is going to be touching the wall, and this one is going to be touching the top. All right. So now I need to minus 20%. So that's going to push it, take it inside the wall. So, and then the right one also, right, minus 20%, take it inside the wall to the right, and then bottom 0. So that's what we did here. And then we're able to achieve our image, the quick service, and then the rating. Although this quick service is supposed to, that's what I will say again, it's supposed to be a div, not an image. You're not supposed to like export this thing the way it is. You're supposed to code it out because it is interactive. So, you know, someone can just come, when you over on it, then it's going to change color or something. And also this rating, you can easily change the rating. So it's supposed to be interactive. But now we exported it as an image, so it's not going to be interactive like that. Okay. So now this is what I don't want to go that. If anyone can do that for me, as an additional mark for you. So these are the kind of extra that I talk about, that if you can do something like this, you don't just, how do you do it? It's very simple. Create a div, right? Create a div and another div. A parent div, which has this one, and then you give it like background white, and then you change the opacity, you give it border radius, like let's say 50 pixel or something. And then you could have another div inside of it, background white. That one does not need opacity. So that background, that div will now have two children. Let's do that sharp. Let's see if we can achieve one of it. Okay, so let's go inside the main. Let me close out the header, the main, the right image, and then this is the service. Let's cut it out first, comment it. Let's see what we have. Okay, it's not there anymore. Now let's create a div dot service. Okay, so that's the parent div. Let's style that one first. So we are going to understand how the styling works. And let me just do it here anyhow, dot service. I don't want to call out the main. So since this is just a trial. All right, so we say, let's say width should be 70 pixel. That will be small, 120 pixel. And then height can now be, let's say 70 pixel. Let's see what we have. Background color, white. Save it, see what we have. Where is it? Okay, let me give it position. Absolute. Let me just copy this one here. All right. Where is it? Where is it? 120 pixel heights. Let me see. That service. Right image there. Okay, I did not save this. All right. So Okay, this is it here. Let me remove the 20 so we can see. Let me just make it 0%. Okay. Why is it taking long to save? Okay, let me push it. Thank you.
I'm just trying to change the background first.
Okay, let's see. Let's see red. Let's save it. Okay, I think it's coming. Let me increase the width. Let's make it 180. Right. Okay, I want you to be inside. Position absolute left. Why is this not working with it? What's going on? Absolute left 50%. Save this. Why? Okay, let me do something first. Seen it already. Name. Okay, because we have another service here. Sorry. What can I do? Let me just change the name. Services. Let me change it to services. Save it, and then copy this one. You can see that the first service was overriding the second one, so that's why we could not get what we need. So let me make it 0%. All right. Where is it now? Now this is going to be services. All right, if you have what we want now. Okay, now this is what we need. Now let's give it top. You know, like I said that, okay, this is supposed to be very close to the top since we're giving it 0. We're giving it 0 and then left 0. But because this image was having some spacing automatically. So now let's give top, let's say 10%. Okay, and then let's give this one minus 5%. See? All right, so I think this is okay. So let's increase the width. Let's make it 200. Let's save it. Give it background color white. White. Then give it shadow. Box shadow. 1 pixel. 1 pixel. Then solid. No solid. Let's say let's just give black for now. Let's see what we have. All right. I'm just trying to see so that we can see what we are working with. Let me make this 1 pixel also. 1 pixel. Okay. All right. Now let's give it border radius. Let's say 50 pixel. Save. All right. So we get it. Okay. So I'm going to change this white opacity to this. Okay. That may be too much. Let me increase it 6. Okay, now let's go inside and create another div dot inside. Let's just use inside and then go to our styling. So let's say dot inside. I'm not calling all of those things. So well, you guys can do that. I just do the same thing here. Reduce it, or I could just say width. Let me use percentage. Let's say 80%, 90%, and then height. Height also 90%. All right. And then our background will now be white. So it'll be plain white. And then the border radius will be the same thing as the parent. Now let's save and see what we have. Okay, this is what we have now. It's not inside, but then we need it to be at the center. So how do we do that? Just say flex, display flex. Okay, justify content center, align items center. Save it and see what we have. All right, this is what we have. Let me change the background of this guy so we can at least don't need the shadow. So we can for now see what we are working with. Save it. All right. Now let's look at the design. Okay, I think it's looking more like the design now. By the time we change the color, we're going to see it properly. All right. Now here we are going to have two children, which is this one and then this one. So let's do that also. So inside the right inside, we're going to have two children. Say dot left and then dot right. Or we don't need dot right for that one. Let's just say our P, since it's just a normal text. And then we have quick service. Quick service. So here should be what do we have inside? We have 24 hours, something like that. 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours. All right, we save this one. So we have to style our inside, flex it, and then justify content, space between. And then our left should be rounded, full. Okay, so now let's go, let's say flex, display flex, justify content, space between or space around. What should we do? Okay, space between and align items, center. All right, so let's focus on the inside, which is, what is inside? What is inside? What do we have inside of it? Left. Okay, so dot inside. I think I have left somewhere. Dot left.
I'm not sure if flex.
Okay. Yeah, I flexed it, display flex. Let's see it. Okay, yeah, it has been flexed. So now, do I need this? Do I need this? I don't need this. Let me give gap. Column gap. Column gap. 40 pixel. 30. All right, now our left now be padding, because I need padding around it. As you can see, the 24 hours is not having like padding around it. Or we could even use width and height, but let's just start with padding. 10 pixel. Border radius 50%. 50% is to make it completely full. And then let's pick the color. Color could be, what's the color? All right, this is the color. Color now, background color. Background color, this is it. And then let's see what we have. Graphic suite. All right, this is not looking so nice. That means we need, let's use height and width. Height, let's say 20 pixel. Width, let's say, that means the width is going to be 20 pixel. Height 30 pixel. Save. That's too small. 80, 70. Okay, that's a bit too big. Should I just use percentage instead? Let me use percentage instead. Okay, we'll say 80% height, and then the width should be, let's say 10% width or 20% width. Save. Okay, this is cool. So we just need to increase the percentage for the width. 40. All right, why is everything getting too much? 35. All of this thing is just idea. All right, it's just, I think I can do it this way. Just think of how to achieve what you want. Okay, so now this left is done now. Now I need to place this text at the center. So I can just do this. Display, flex, justify center and align center, just like that. Let me copy this one. I'm coming Chinwe. This is just, I'm not supposed to be doing this in class though, but then let's just do it. So now we have this at the center, and then this is too close to the wall of our inside. You can just say padding let me say 0 and let's say 12 pixels, right? Left down. Okay. 5 pixels. Okay, this is better. Let me change this to white again. White is, what is white to FFFF? 255. 255. 255. Okay, well, let's see. All right. So I think we still need the padding, sorry, the border or the shadow, something like that. So it's going to a little bit look different from the one we have here. So this is just basically what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Let me say dot inside P. So we can reduce the font size. Let's give it 12 pixels. Save. All right. That's cool. 14. Save. All right. So looking at the design now, I think it's like somewhat close to the design. But then if we can actually do our best, this one you're going to need a shadow. All right. You're going to need a shadow to make it look just the way it is, so that it's going to like stand outside of this background color. You're going to need a shadow, white, and then let me try that. Let me try.
Also padding top and bottom.
Padding top and bottom. Someone said opacity. Someone said opacity. Can that person say something again? Shadow white. Okay.
No, now there's already opacity in the background color.
Okay, you're right. Where's my opacity? Okay, thank you. Let me just increase. Let's see if we can increase the opacity. Are we increasing? Should we be increasing or reducing? Reduce. 3. Why is it not showing on the whites? All right, let's do Z index. Let's see. Yeah, it's crazy. Z index. Is that pixel in Z index? That white is not showing. Well, you guys should figure out how to fix it. Okay, just figure out how to make it show. I think with border or something like just find a way to make it show. So if you can do something like this instead of copying the image, this one also you can do it. Just get a star and then flex it and do. Although if you don't do it, you're going to get your mark. You're going to get your 95 complete. But if you can do something like this, just come out something somehow different, then you're going to get an extra mark. So that's just that. I don't want to waste much time.
There are a lot of people that have submitted.
You can. I told you can actually update your code. Go back to your code. Do if you want to change it. You have not been graded, I believe. So if you want to change it, you can get in and push it to your GitHub. You're going to see the changes from my end.
No, right? They have graded me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, bro. That's your luck. That's your luck. You just do that. You can let me know when you do.
You can update this. You can update the grade now.
Yeah, go
I can't do it. It's stressful for me.
Okay, you can leave it. Okay, talk to Femi, please. Beg him.
But please, how do you do the star?
The star.
It's image now.
Okay, the star, you can just copy one of the images.
You can download it as icon.
Yeah, download one of the. Okay, I've not actually explained how to do the icon part, but you can download one of the star as an image. Let me show you. See this one. Now I'll pick the star. So if I export it now, let me show its preview. So this is the star. So you can pick one of it as an image and then you now flex it. And then you can do this one also. Although all of these things are still JavaScript way of attending something, but you can copy this last one also. If you check it, okay, it's not showing. Just find a way to copy it and then make use of it. It's going to fetch extra mark for you. That's what I'm trying to say. Although if you cannot still achieve it, don't stress yourself, all right? Don't want to force yourself. The best thing is, okay, think about how can I do this and then try and fix it. If you can do it, extra mark. If you cannot, mark. Thank you very much. Now, people will only think now. About session, you can do it. Sorry, let me call you Oba, like you said. If you can do it, reach out to Femi Blaze. Perhaps maybe he can look into your grading again, perhaps.
Yes, right. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so now having done all of this, I won't still go to this part. I will see if I can fix it myself because we are already out of time. So let me go to my GitHub now. Then we create a repository. Okay, we are going to create a, before we push to the repository, I have to create the, sorry, you have to create the repository. So that is what we are now going to integrate to our code and then push it to that repository. So how do we create a repository? After visiting the website here, the GitHub website, just come to here. You can see by the left-hand side. If you are using your phone, I'm not sure there's a way you create a new repo, but I've checked that in severally. I don't know if anybody can come up with a screenshot for us to know where exactly you can create a new repo on mobile. I've tried to find it. I've not seen it. But then on desktop, click on new, right? Click on new. So this will now bring out they create a new repository. Don't stress yourself. Just give it Fin Suite, right? I think I have one. Okay, Fin Suite, right? That's the name of the repository. Leave the direction description. If you want to have a description, you can just write something a Fin Suite page designed. You can just say designed by Simple Soul. Something just anything, right? Public, make it public. A README file. Some persons we want a README file. Why some persons is not really. Why you need a README file is for someone who is opening your website. Most of people, for example, if you have a job and then they give you a code to go and design, or a design to go and write as a code, or maybe to solve or something to replicate. Okay, so they will expect a README file from you to explain how to go about opening the code, how to go about starting the page, starting the development. So that's why README file may be very, very important. But for now, I would say maybe you guys don't really need it. But then if you want to do it, it is very good to learn how to use it. And it's not like you learn anything. Just add a README file, okay? And then when you do everything, you're going to see the README file, or you can just say, even from your file in your VS Code, you can add readme.md, right? And that one, just type anything you want. That's a place where you can type anything, explain, okay, this is my code. It's just like a Word document or a note, right? Where you can say stuff about your code, how to go about some of the pages. Maybe you have a function somewhere and you need to explain for another person. So everything is mostly located inside the README file. So that's just what README file is all about. I may not need it, for this one, I may not be using it at all. All right, so after that, you create your repository. The first thing you do, the name of the repo, make it public. This description is optional, so you can leave it and you can put anything. Make it public. You can add a README, your choice, and you can leave it blank, unchecked. So then after that, just click on create repository and then wait for it to create. All right, so we now have a README, our repository. But then let me say this because there's something you guys need to know. This is going to be very easy for me because I'm used to how to connect my VS Code to my repository. I'm very used to it. But for you guys, I would advise that you do not add any README file because with the README file, it's going to skip the instruction on how to add how to connect your VS Code to your repo, your project to your repo. It's going to skip the instruction. So let me just do something. Let me delete this. So I will show you guys where the instruction is mostly located. I never knew this thing is going to like, okay. Official simple so / print suite. Okay. Yeah, that's it. What is it? All right, so I'm going to create a new repo now. Let me just go to this place. A new repository, print suites, then descriptions. There's no time. I'm not adding the README file. Then I'll create a repository. So after this one, it's going to now display. This page is what the repository skipped earlier because we added a README file. Okay, but then I don't want it to be skipped. I want you guys to see it because there's an instruction on how to like connect your repository with your project, right? So now this is the instruction. Skip, you can just forget all of these ones. Just go straight to this instruction that you have here. All right. The first one is echo FinSuite README. Well, if you want to do it, it's more like, since you cannot create the README first when you are creating the repo, you can now do the same thing inside your terminal. You can just copy the first one. Now copy it, go back to your VS Code here, and then open terminal in your VS Code. How do you open terminal in your VS Code? On Windows, you open terminal by going to File. Yeah, I think by going to File, and then you see terminal. I can't really remember. I can't really recall. Femi Blaze. Femi Blaze, are you there? Femi Blaze here. Femi Blaze is there, but is not available. All right, just on Mac. On Mac, right, you see, just here, you can see the terminal here on my own Mac. But then on Windows, I can't really recall. It's been a while since I used Windows. I can't recall. I don't know if...
I think we can also see it.
Okay, you can see it above, right? If you can see it above, just click on the terminal since you're also on Windows. So when you click on the terminal, you see something like new terminal and all of that. Then you can click on new terminal. So you see your terminal below at the bottom of your VS Code. You see the terminal at the bottom of your VS Code, all right? So now we have FinSuite. Ensure that you are inside FinSuite. I know most of us don't know how to use terminal, but then the last thing that you see here, the project, that's where you are inside, okay? That's where you are inside. That means, okay, I'm currently inside FinSuite. All right, so now I can now run echo. That's thing that I copied inside my GitHub. I can now paste it here. This is echo means echo is a bash command that is used to print something inside a file. Already, I do not have this file, but then if the file does not exist, echo is going to create the file automatically. If the file exists, it's going to print this FinSuite inside it. We don't need to understand all of this for now. So it's just some bash scripting command and all. So echo is, okay, echo something, echo FinSuite, this particular thing, inside, this is like inside a readme.md file. All right, so you can skip it. It's optional, very optional. This one is not important. But then let's say, let me just change, okay, enter. All right, so as you can see, if you check here now, you can see readme.md. This is a new file because of the echo. And if I open that readme.md, you see that FinSuite inside, as you can see here. So yeah, now you can now decide to add anything. My project is about FinSuite page, a design given by KodeCamp, blah, 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 all of those things. So it's just a normal text editor, all right? So then after that, let's go to the VS Code again. Now we need to git init. Git init means git. Now already I have git on my window, on my terminal or any place I have in my system. Now I want to initialize this, my particular project, into Git. You have to tell Git that, okay, Git initialize, Git activate this project. That's what it means. Git init, yeah, Git init. And remember that you have to be inside the project folder, which is FinSuite. So your own could be any name. I don't know what name is, but you don't have to, just as soon as you open your terminal, it's going to automatically be inside that folder. All right, so don't stress yourself by trying to change it again. So Git init means Git, please help me to initialize this folder, activate this folder, meaning that anything that I want to do next should be done in respect to this folder. So that's Git initialize, Git init. So enter, then initialize empty Git repository. That means it's successful. If you see initialized empty Git repo, right, that means it has been successful. Then we'll go again and then copy, add. Although this README, we will not need it. Let's just git add means, let me paste it first. Git add means, okay, Git, after initializing, right? After initializing a repository inside this folder, now add my README file. This means add the README file. But we are not interested in adding the README file only. We we want to add all these files, the CSS, the image, and the index. We want to add everything together. If you want to add everything at once, you are going to just remove this README and put dot. Dot means git add everything. Remember, there is space. I did not add it together. It's just git spacebar, add spacebar, and then dot. Dot is add everything I have in my project, add it to this particular Git repository. All right. Then after that, enter. That means that is successful. Then we'll go to the next one. Now, commit. I can remember, was it not on Monday, on Tuesday, we were explaining what commit is all about for ourselves. So commit means commit my changes inside this repository. After adding the folder, add the file, the README, the images, and everything I have inside this folder to the repo, to this Git. Now commit, I need to commit a message. That means, okay, Git, commit these particular changes that I've made. Why this one is very important is in some cases, maybe after doing all of this, after adding, committing, and pushing, right? And I'll do again. I make some changes again, okay? I made some changes. Maybe I decided to change the image or change the font size of something. I will now do it again, all over again, git add. But in that case, I will check for the changes I made. Then I'll add those folders and files only. Then I'll now do git commit -m again. The commit means, okay, this message is going to be what the person that is viewing your work is going to see. So you can just say commit. That means commit this particular changes that I've made, commit it to whatever it is I want to do next. So now I will say git commit -m. All of these things are just normal command. You don't have to like memorize it. You can copy it somewhere. And then anytime you need it, you copy it and use it. So by the time you use it 2, 3, or 4 times, you're going to get it automatically. So git commit -m, I would say completed my first Twin Suite project, something like that. Then enter. That one is just a normal text. Anything inside that string is a normal text. You don't have to worry about what you put inside. And then you see create. So now it added everything you have, your index, your service, your everything. So that's what you now created everything inside the root. So now what we can do now is to push. Okay, we now need to, okay, before that, there is a way we work. We have master, we have main. A developer who created a repository is the master of its own repository, right? But then let's assume that, okay, I created a repository and I own the master. So I now push the repository to Gospel, or I asked Gospel to clone the repository, right? And then it did. So Gospel does not have the right to push to master. He has to push to either main or a new branch. We already explained what branches are to ourselves on Tuesday. So, but in this case, I don't like, it is not best practice, I would say, since we are actually doing a training, it is not so nice to push our work to a master branch, because master branch is like the top, the organ of them all branch. So it is best we just create a different branch, which is called main, and then push our work inside of it, so that in case there are even errors in the page, we can easily delete the main and create the main again, or create a different branch again. So that's the next thing, which is the branch, git branch -m main. That means, okay, git. Now I want you to now create a branch named -m. Now change our branch. For example, let me show you git branch now. Currently, we are inside master. Git branch is used to check the branch that you are currently in. Git branch, okay, now I'm inside master, but I don't want to push my work to master. I need to change to main. So that's where this command comes in. Git branch me to a new main, so a new branch, which is called main. Git branch me to a new branch, which is called main. Now I enter now. If I should do git branch now, you see what happens. Git branch. Now I'm currently inside main. Okay, so I can go back to my master and I can, but that one, we are going to explain that one later. I can check out to master, check out to other branches and all, but we don't need all of those ones now. So for now, we are currently inside main. All right. So after that, we're now going to like, okay, all of these things we are doing now, we need to connect the origin of our repository to our project. We are just setting up everything with the echo, with the git init, the add, commit, and everything is just happening locally from our VS Code. But how do we now connect it to our repository exactly? That's where this one comes in. This git remote add origin, then the link. So this link represents, this link is what we have here. So it represents this our repository inside our GitHub. So this is the link that represents that. So now after copying that, paste it, we now say git remote. Git remote is another command that is used to control your remote repository. Your remote repo is your GitHub repo. So we use this git remote to control your remote repository. Now git remote, add another origin, okay? Add another origin to us, within us here. Which origin are we adding? Then this link here. Like I said, this link represents our repository in GitHub. So I want you to add this repository to us, add it to us so that we can now start working with it. And the origin does not have to be origin. It's just a name, but then best practice says it should be origin, okay? So git remote add origin repository, okay? So after this, we will now be representing this our repository with this origin. If I should change this origin to be dev, I'll be representing our repo with dev. But for now, I'm going to leave it as origin so that I can be representing our repository with origin. So well, I know questions will be plenty, but let's just complete what we have for now. So git remote, git branch, all of those things. Git add are commands, right? Git commit is also a command. Git branch is a command. Git remote is a command. So now add this origin. I represent this with origin. Now add this repository, right? Now enter. So that has been added. All right. So now after this, I now want to push. I need to push to that repo. Because I said I represented this with origin, I cannot be writing this link every time. So that's why I need to represent it with origin. Okay. So I copy the last one, paste it here. Now git push. Git push, git push everything we have on our page, everything that you've added, you've committed, and all of these activities that we have done. Now push it to where? To origin. And what is our origin? This is our link, which is our repository in our GitHub. So now git push everything that you've done, that we have added, everything we have on our code, push it to what? This origin. And then don't just push it to that origin alone. Which part of that origin? Remember, we have main and we have master inside our repository. So if we say git push directly, origin, it's going to like want to push to master, and we don't want it to push to master. We need you to push to where? To main. So that's why we say git push to origin, which is the repo. So which part of the origin are we pushing to? Then the main. That's where we have the main. Then enter. Then we wait for it to now push. You see enumerating, counting, delta compression, and all of these things are C programming languages, which C programming responses, compressing objects, writing object total. Don't worry about that. What we need to know is ensure that your writing object is 100%. If your writing object complete 100%, and then you see all this branch main set up to track, then that means your push has been successful. So ensure that the writing object is 100%, and then you see something like, okay, branch main set up to track. That means your push is successful. Now, after this, we are done with our VS Code here. We'll now go back to our GitHub again. As you can see, we are done. Sorry, I mistakenly copied from this. I'm supposed to copy from here. This one, don't worry about this one. Ensure that you copy everything you have from here. So git init, add, change this readme to dots, then commit, then git branch, remote, and push. Then having done that, we now need to refresh our page because we've pushed now. So we refresh our page. So you're going to see the new changes that we've done. All right, so this is what we have now. Remember that our ribbon that we added is this theme suite. Then our CSS is this, our image is this, our dot is just a normal git file that is being added when you're initializing. All right, and then the readme that we added, and then our index.html. Remember my commit message, like I said, that is what people will be seeing, that, okay, this is the last commit this person did. That's what we have here, completed my first FinSuite project. The same thing here on all of these things. So this has been pushed 7 minutes ago. Why? Okay, this was committed. This minute ago only sees the time that you committed your changes. It doesn't see the time that you push it. It only sees the time that you commit the messages, right? And when I committed these messages was 7 minutes ago. So now my project is now in GitHub. The assignment is copy the repository link. This is my repository. This is my FinSuite repository. I have different projects here. I have different projects. I have different repo. Let's not get that one confused. So I have KodeCamp FE-LMS. So if I should click, now I'm inside FE-LMS. As you can see, I'm inside LMS here, FE-LMS. And then this is the repo link to this LMS. If someone should ask you that, sir, please, can you send me your repository link so that I can clone your work? There's a way you clone somebody's project so that you can have it inside your own your own VS Code. So in that case, when someone asks you something like that, please, I want to clone your project so that I can have it. I can see the same thing that you have and then make my own changes. It's more like copying someone's code, all right? Copying someone's code and make your own changes, and then it's going to come as your name. So when you clone, so how do you do that? You come here and copy this one here, all right? The repo you can clone is a repo that ends with .git. The link that ends with .git is the one you can send to someone to clone. Clone, as you know, clone now, just make something double, all right? So, but then if it is just a normal repository link, okay, someone that wants to see your code and all of this, so you copy this one and send it to that person. So this is what you're going to copy and submit inside Git repository link. Yes, you're going to see the input there on LMS. Although, but it's not going to be LMS, so I just use this one as an example. Let's go back to our FinSuite. You can as well search for it here, FinSuite, because the project is choke. Okay, so now this is FinSuite, and this is the link to your repository. So you copy it and submit it. So anytime you make changes, you don't have to like copy the link again. Already the link has been submitted. So just keep making your changes and pushing to this repo, and then we are going to be seeing the changes from our own end. So now, how do I host this thing so that you can see it? Anybody can see it. For now, you cannot send me this one. If you send me this link, I will not see it because this link is going to open on your local environment. Your local environment, that's where this link is going to open. So if you send it to me or your friend, they will not see the page. So how do you send them a link that they will see? Because I said, send me your hosted link, which is this. I need to see how you have your page, all right? Instead of using the GitHub, the code pen, now it's going to be GitHub link. So how do we do that? Okay, we go to settings, just click on settings, right? And then under the settings, you're going to see collaborators, moderation option, all of these things. We don't need all of these ones. What we need is the page. This is GitHub pages. They call it GitHub pages. That's where you host. Now, if you enter the pages, you have to like change the branch. Select the branch that you have. Since we push to main, right? This branch. So you click on none and then select main. That's where we push our work to. Click on none under branch. This is the GitHub pages. And then leave this build and deploy, leave all of those ones. Just come down to branch, click on none and select main. And then click on save. Just ignore this route also, forget about that. Then click on save. So now after it is saved, wait for it. Just wait for like 5 minutes, then you refresh your page, then you're going to see the link just right above this place. Now let's wait for like 5 minutes. While we are waiting, let's see again how we can explain what we did here. While we are waiting for that. So from the beginning, we initialized. Oh, sorry, we echo. Echo, you can ignore it. So don't stress yourself on that. But if you do it, it's not like I'll add any mark for doing echo, no mark. So if you do it, fine, you do it. All right. Yeah.
Okay. On the repository now, to create a new command line, are we to follow the first one creating a new command line, like a new file or existing file.
To create a new command. You mean to create a new repository
Yes, yes.
or to create a new branch? Please don't confuse. Let me understand. You know, a new repository, you have created one for this project. You cannot use this one, that repo for another project again. If you want to, let's say we have another project we want to work on next week, you have to create another repository. And how do you do that? Is just to go to new, that place that we started the whole creation
No,
from.
yes. So I know, like the command line you used for, you said we should the first one that came out, like the first command line. If you are, if you want to create a new command, if you want to add a new file to your repository.
Okay, let's say, okay, let me see if I understand what you're saying. Let's say I am adding another file here, right?
Yes.
Let's say I add another file, let's say about .html. Is that what you're saying? Let's say I add
Yeah.
another file. How will
Yes.
I like make my repo see it that I've added another file?
Yes. Yes.
Are you sure that's what you're asking? This is your response. Yeah, are you?
It's similar to it. It's not.
Okay. If this is, let's say, okay, I created a new file inside my project. You only have to like git add that file. Now I've made new changes. For example, I created a new file, right? I'll just do this. Git status is to see the changes that you've made, like git status. Now git status, okay, show me the new changes I've made. Already VS Code will show you that, okay, you have this one, this U means on track. That means you've not added, that means this is a new file that you've just created and you've not been able to track it in our Git repository. So then you can now do git status to see it. So you see about the HTML. That's the new file that I've just created. So you now do git add. Before we did dot to add everything. That's the beginning. So subsequently, after you've done the git add from the beginning, you don't need the dot anymore to add everything. You just need to like copy that file that was changed. Since you did your git status to see the change, then you just copy this one and then add it. Just drop it here and then add it. And that's all. You cannot do your git commit again. Now in this case, your git commit can now be, you now say added a new file about .html. Okay. So the commit message is just, okay, this is the new thing I've done. All right. Then you enter and then now go git push again or -u origin main. So then it's going to update your repository with the new file that you just created. But that's if you create a new file within an existing repository, right? But then if you created a new branch, sorry, a new project, not FinSuite anymore. Let's say we create a new project. You're going to do everything all over again. You go to your code, GitHub, create a new repo, and then copy, do the process that we do. Echo, git init, git add.
Okay.
Do it all over again. All right. So that means that's how people have different. If you see myself, I have about 40 something repository, if not more than. So because I have different projects, and each project you have to go to each repository differently. All right. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm clear.
All right. Okay, so now we've waited for a while. So let's refresh now. We should be able to see that thing. Let's refresh. Okay, now we see it. Your live site, your site is live at HTTP blah 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 and all of these things. So this is the link you're going to copy and send. Like you're going to submit this one as the hosted link. Let's visit site first. Let's confirm what we did. All right. So now this is what we did. This is our live site. Okay. And then this. So okay, I think I mentioned something about the icon that the way we pass our icon, the images, right? This one, if you remember, I changed the way I actually link it. That's why it's showing. But then this contact icon, I forgot to change it. All right. So, and this one also is an icon. I forgot to change it. So how do I do that? Well, I've already submitted, right? I've copied this link and I've submitted. But then I need to update it because I did not know that this icon was going to disappear. How do I do it so that I can see it as soon as possible? So what do I do? Just leave it like that. Just leave it the way it is. You can close this one so you don't need to be on this page anymore. Just go to your code. right? You see that about that I've just added now. See the about that I've just added now at Ayaken about. And then the commit message for that about is going to be only on that about, added a new file about.html. So that's it. And then now let's see something. I need to change the way my image is being linked because it's not showing properly. Save this. Now let's go to HTML. The first one is the WhatsApp, the contact icon. Let's look for where it is. Where the fuck is that? Okay, where can I find? Okay, yeah, rating. Is it rating? Okay, I think our rating is also not showing. So this is what we do for our rating also. We have to firstly, our first dot checkout. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So now, here we are going to use dot slash. Okay, because our index is not in any folder, right? So we are not getting out of any folder. We are just jumping inside the folder directly. Our style was inside a CSS folder. That was why we need to do dot to get out of our folder first. Okay, this our style. Where is it? Yeah, our image here. This style.css is inside the CSS folder, and we need to get inside the image folder. That's why we need to do dot. Now the second dot is to get out of our folder, right? Get out of this CSS. Now, after getting out, slash, now get inside the image. But this one, we are not getting outside any folder. Index is outside automatically. So it's naked outside. We just need to like jump inside a new folder, which is what we did here. Dot slash. That means jump inside a folder. Now look for image and then the service, the rating.png. Save it. Now let's go for the other one. What is the other one? I think where is it now? Okay, inside the header, the right content text, the right contact icon. Open it, right contact icon. The same thing we did for this one too. If you already know what you're doing, you can just add dots here. That's all, that will solve the problem. But then for you to be sure, you can just delete it, dot. Now jump inside image, and then which image are we doing? Assistance icon. Now save it. So after making those saves, now come back to your terminal again. Come back to your terminal. Git status. That should be the first thing to do, right? Status. Now it's now saying, okay, I've modified my readme.md and I've modified my index.html. Okay, so I want to add readme.md and index.html. So I'll just do git add, copy the first one. You can either say -u to add everything that you've modified, only the files that you have modified. That's what I want to add. That's what -u will do, right? But then in case this may be confusing, this may likely to confuse you, feel free to write these things down. So -u is going to modify, it's going to add only the files that you've modified. I don't want to keep adding everything. Why? Because the file may get very heavy and I cannot be adding. Everything that I've added before, I cannot add them again. I just want to add the ones that I modified. So -u will now add the one that you modified. And then let's assume that, okay, I can't remember the modify. Sorry, the -u. I want to add it one by one. Copy this one, paste it here, enter, then git add again. Copy the next one. But in the case where you have like 50 modified files, you won't be able to do all of this one by one. So that's where you need to know how to use git add -u. So save it. Then you say git commit. Commit is always coming with -m. Don't forget, if you do not put the -m, it's not going to work. -m, then your commit message can now be something like made some changes in readme.md and index.html. Then you close it. Ensure that your commit message is always inside a string, inside two column. Then enter. Then after that, git push again, -u origin main. Okay. So we wait for it to complete. Now we are up to track. So now let's go back to our GitHub and then we have to refresh. This check means, okay, we have successfully hosted our link before, right? But then this one was 6 minutes ago. So we need to refresh because we pushed something newly now. We should refresh our GitHub, and then we are going to see something different. Our new commit message, made changes to README and index. That's our new commit message. And then this means, if you click on it now, you see some checks haven't completed yet. So it's just waiting. So as soon as you see a check mark color green, that means your page has been updated. That means your hosted link has been updated. For now, it's not updated. If I should refresh, I'll still get the error. Okay, I think it has been updated. That was fast. Okay, so now I need to refresh also to be sure that the link has been updated. I expect to see check. Okay, fine. Now the check. One thing about GitHub, it doesn't like update. You have to like refresh to see the changes. Now, this check means, okay, my page has been successfully updated. Now, we come back here and then already I've refreshed. So we can now see the image here and then see the image here. So that is just that about GitHub. So you can now copy this one as the hosted link. This link, you can send it to your friend, your family, to anybody. And if they open it, they will see the wonderful work you've been able to achieve with your code. So having done that, copy this hosted link and also copy this repository link, and then go to your LMS where you have GitHub hosted link, copy the hosted link and paste it there. Where you have GitHub repository link, copy the repository link and paste it there. So that is all we are going to do today. I believe we've been able to at least understand the process on how to go about creating a repo, modifying our code, and then pushing to the repo. The first one is when you create a repo, you do the normal process, because when you create a repo, you're going to see the process from your GitHub. GitHub will provide the process for you. So you have git add. You can say, okay, echo, if you want to echo whatever you want to echo inside the README file. And then after that, you can now say git add, delete the README, git add dot. So add everything at first, because from the beginning, you have to add everything at first. Then after that, git commit. You commit your changes. And after that, you now branch. All of those things is the first things you have to do. Branch to main, git branch dash capital M main. Then after that, git remote. Because you have to tell Git that, okay, this is where I want you to push it to. So git remote, add origin. The origin represents our link, our repository. So git remote, add origin, that's the name I want to give it. Then which link? Now I now provide the link. The link is the link to always this link here. That's the link to your repository, the Git repository. This is the link. So in case you mistakenly skip this part, skip that part that will tell you how to go about the process, you can just open this code. This is for Git. If you want to clone, if you want to remotely add and all of those things. This one is just for someone to see your repo. They cannot do anything with this one. They can do stuff with this one. Okay. So then after remote, then you now push origin. You push git push -u origin main. All right. And having done that, you now come back to your GitHub, refresh your page, then you now go to settings so that you can host your page. Go to settings. And then inside settings, you look for pages. Come to pages here. And then having done that, then at first you won't see all of these things. It's not going to show. But then you have to change this one to main. You see none, change it to main, and then click on save. And after saving, you wait for about 4 or 3 minutes. After waiting, you refresh your page and you see this one. You can now copy this hosted link, or you visit the site. After visiting the site, come back to this place and then copy this hosted link. So any one of your choice. Submit it and submit your repository link. And then later on, you make some changes in your code. You need to okay, I want this. I need to change the way my code is looking like and all of that. So you can now come back to your Git. Then after making your changes, after changing maybe you change your image, you change your this and all of that. So you do git status to see the changes. Now I've not made any change, right? So if I do the git status now, I will not see anything. It's saying your branch is up to date with origin main. right? Origin is our repository and the main is the branch that we push to. So then nothing to commit. That means everything is clean. Until I now make a single change before I will now see the change inside the status. And after that, I will now do git add. Git add, don't do dot anymore. If you have done it the first time, don't do dot anymore. Do -u to add the new modified files. Or if it is just a single file, you can do git add, then copy the file. Don't copy the modifier though, just copy the file name and then paste it here and add. Then after that, you don't have to branch anymore. You've branched the first time. So after git commit, git status, git add, after adding, you commit again. That commit must come with the new change that you do. The new change that you made, that's what the commit message must come with. Git commit -m. I've made some changes on the login page or on the sign up page and all of that, right? And then after that, git push origin -u, git push -u origin main. So, and that is all. After doing that, come back here and wait. You see that dot, that sign, something like this is going to be like a ball with a maroon color. Then you wait, sorry, a goldenrod color. Then you wait for it for like 1 or 2 minutes, refresh again, and that is it. Your page has been deployed. Thank you very much. Questions? Let's take questions now. So we can call it a day. Questions? Do you have any question?
Oh, okay.
I'm coming. Let me see. Okay. I knew it. Okay, let's start from the first person on the list. The first person is Ayo Akenu. Yeah, a question.
Okay, sorry to disturb you. I'm still having trouble doing this. I did what you asked me to do, the echo line input on the terminal. I want to ask, is it for me to make use of the terminal on VS Code? Am I supposed, the git bash, is it supposed to be installed like the git? Am I supposed to install it then before the terminal can work? Because I tried it without the git, the one on my system, and it's showing error.
What kind of error?
Does it? Okay, let me repost it again. Sorry.
What?
I went to terminal, new terminal, and the folder. I click on the folder. I pasted it. Okay, I clicked the entered. Okay, it's showing. It's not recognized as the same of the git is not recognized.
Okay.
And there are lots of errors there.
Check the file. Which folder are you inside?
Okay, I created a folder for, like, there's an external folder. I created a folder called KodeCamp tutorial. Then inside the KodeCamp tutorial, I have another folder for the fit sweetness, fit sweet for it.
Okay. Can you try git? Did you do git initialize first?
Yeah, no, I actually just copied and pasted. I tried it the first time. It didn't work.
Okay, well, I think it's a bigger problem.
Because I also, from the beginning where you said if they show the place that okay, a quick setup, okay, or the under the repository,
yeah,
it has upload an existing file that I can drag inside. I did that before. That I complained that anytime they displayed the hosting link, the hosted link, I clicked on it, it's displaying error for the file is not
found. This is what we do. After this class, you can send me a Google Meet link, and you can share your screen. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Because I've been trying it since yesterday. That it has been keeping me down.
yeah, yes, we are going to fix it. Let me after this class, just send me a Google Meet link, my DM.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the pairs.
Yeah, thank you. It's not really a question. It's more like a message. Cisco is having problem coming back online, so he said I should tell you that he has adjusted his work. That you should please check his response again.
Okay, no Allah. Okay, I'll look into that. Cisco. But then the problem I'm having with Cisco is I don't even know his name. I don't know what I'll go and look for. Do you know his real name? Okay, Uche Patrick, if you mistakenly do git add readme.md, you can do git add dot again. Just forget about the readme. If you mistakenly do readme.md and then it throws error or it added, do it again. You can do git add as many times as possible. Git add as many as possible. So just do your git add spacebar dot again. All right. And details, please.
Hello.
Anya.
Abi?
Jovita. Yeah, your question.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
So, first, I want to say you should review my work. You've not done that since yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Secondly, I want to ask the Git bash excuse me, we downloaded. Can't we do all these things we did on the terminal?
You
There.
can,
Just
definitely
Git
can.
clone, right?
Yeah, what you need to do, you have to ensure that you are inside your folder. Because if you do everything outside, if remember I said I have to be inside the FinSuite folder. Okay, so on the bash, if you want to get into the folder, I don't know, that bash will not take you to the folder directly. So you use CD to navigate. In the git bash, you use CD, that's change directory. CD.
I know that.
Okay, you know all those ones here. So CD desktop first, and then CD, you now do CD that I don't know, however you have your route. So just CD to enter any place. Since you're saying you already know, that's fine. Okay, are we good?
Last question.
Okay.
Yes, on that last question. Since we are operating on the origin, the main rather. So
Okay.
if we did, let's say we are on the master, we
Mm.
can only use git push, right? We don't have to go back to passing origin and main.
Well, depends. Even with main, you can still do git push, right? But then the first time when you are doing git push for main, if you are inside main and you are doing git push for main, it is going to tell you to change your upstream, because by default, git push, we want to push to master by default. And already you are inside main. That means you have to change your upstream. Let me show you now. It's going to, I will see the prompt here. So if I should say, let me just make a change. Let me make a change. Let's say one. Okay, let me remove this one. And then save it. Let me do git status. Okay, so I've modified this, copy it, git add, drop this one. Okay, enter git commit -m added or deleted the commented code, right? Then git push. Okay, so I was expecting that this thing is supposed to ask me that I should change my upstream to main. But then I think because I've pushed to main 2 or 3 times, so it already like memorizes the fact that, okay, I think you want to push to main. So git push works anyhow. So in case you, maybe the first time that you branch and you now want to do git push, something like that, and it asks you that you should change your upstream. If it asks you to change your upstream from master to main, it's going to also give you the command to use to change the upstream. Just copy the upstream and then git that upstream, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember that one. And then send it. Then after that, you can now do git push. Although if it doesn't ask you, you can do git push also. So you don't have to do -u, origin, main, all of those things anymore. Are we clear?
Yes, thank you.
You know, boss now, you don't know all this git command, all this main. I can't teach
I
you
saw
all.
your work in ALS, so
Huh?
ALX, right?
Okay. Yeah. I used it. You saw my work. Look at these people. Wow, this monitoring spirit don't monitor me. I say so my work. Okay. Samuel Boma.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, mine is just I want to take you back a little. I'm just a bit confused with this whole Git something. Tell me if you can just run it again just once quickly. So I can.
Run it how? I'll have to delete the repository and then like, okay, where did you get it to? Let me ask. Where did you get it to?
Okay, on the beginning, I've done I've opened my terminal, put the echo and all that. Well, this commit,
Did you create have you created a repository on GitHub?
yes, this week.
You've created a repository, and then which page? Go to your GitHub and tell me which page are you currently on? Is it that page that tells you the command to use, or this kind of page that I am? That page. So then now you have to go back to your VS Code now. Okay, go back to your VS Code and then you do. Have you opened your terminal in VS Code?
Yes, I have.
Did you do git status? Can you try git status? Chinwe, please ask a question while he's trying to fix that. Sammy.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm still going to bring you back to the Figma account. I'm still finding it really very difficult to open that website, actually. So I don't know how possible it is, maybe for me, to have those pictures so I can put into my code, because I'm done with writing my code. That's just the only thing that's keeping me from trying to push it into GitHub. So
okay, let me understand. Like you don't know how to export the images, right?
No, I know how to extract the pages, but the problem is that I find it very difficult to load the Figma website. So it takes forever, and when it does, it crashes and I have to reload, and it takes forever. Throughout we've been in this class, I've been trying to open Figma, and for the past 2 hours, it has been proving difficult. I haven't been able to access it. It may be from the network, but then the network seems to be opening other pages, but it's very slow when it comes to Figma. So I'm asking, is it possible for me to have access to the pictures, that's the status, the logos and the pictures, so I can put them, download them and put them into my work?
Okay.
That's where I'm having issues.
All right, there's no problem. Who on this call are you friend with? Do you have any of your? Okay, let me rephrase that. Have you selected anybody to make your friend on this call? Like
you now, what are you? You're my friend.
Send me DM. I'll send you pictures.
All right.
Oh, okay.
That's
Thank you. Please.
You are everybody's friend.
All right. Unless, okay. Please,
ask the person's name. Who is the person?
That one I'm asking. Who is the person? That's what I want to ask.
It's gospel.
Gospel, okay.
Gospel or gospel.
Just DM me after the call.
Okay.
Or have you tried opening it from KodeCamp LMS? Like you should open now.
Yes, I have. That's why I actually tried opening it from. It's still very difficult for me to open. I don't know why.
One thing is, Chinwe, right? We are going to continue using VS Code. So after Gospel sent you the images, you still have to find a way. Perhaps maybe you need to copy the link and open it on a different browser, because you have to find a way. It must open on your system. Only if you are planning to buy another system, right? But then if you're not, then you have to make it open, because there's nothing we can do. Just that will work on. So when after I sent you the picture.
Okay. Then secondly, my second question is about the class. Now you've given so many commands. I'm just trying to familiarize myself with GitHub. Is there a way you could give us like you normally do, that's your PowerPoint presentation, and try to explain what each command does? I think it's going to add as a better refresher than pausing and listening and going back and trying to catch what each command does.
Okay. I'll see what I can do. My problem is my PowerPoint it contains all the lectures from day one to the last. So I'll see if I can extract till today, right? And then I'll forward it to the group chat. But that'll be before. I can't possibly promise you that I'll do it immediately after the class. Say before 6, we should be able to get it before 6 p.m.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Okay, is that all? All right, Code.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Regarding the assignment I told you about the stage 2 assignment.
Okay, yeah, you said you updated your code, right?
Yes, I've updated it, sir.
Okay, please, your name again, please, so I can know what to search for.
Babatunde Kolaoli.
Babatunde Kolaoli. All right, I will look into it.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right, Sammy, offer. Sammy.
Yeah, the gist is on branch master, nothing to commit.
Okay. That means you've done everything. Okay, do git add. Do git add space. Have you done the git add before?
No. I'm at which branch?
I need to. You have to share. Do you know how to share screen when you go to
Yeah.
I would like you to join the link that I will be sending to me, right? So that you can share your screen and then we can look at it together. All right.
Okay.
After the class. Or do you want to lie? Please unmute yourself.
All right, thank you. So my first question is, are we to only design the home page or everything on the Figma?
You choke. Who is the fire? You want people to buy tea.
No, it's only a question.
You get mine. Well, if you the main thing is the task says that you should design the header and the hero header. That's the hero header, which is the main. All right. But then if you can, there's nothing stopping you from continuing with the design. So if I see it that, okay, from your own submission, you have the header, you have the hero header, and then you have other sections after it, I will not, it's not like I will cancel your submission or anything, although your grade will not be considered based on those ones. I will not say because you have 2 more sections, I will not add to your grade. No, I'm only interested in looking at the header and the first part, the first section. So if you want to do everything at once, you are free to do it. But I will not look other ones. Is that okay?
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
All right, boss. Some of us have even done, they're even done with all of the pages. Someone like Gospel, that one don't do well. When they ask me for another design, can you imagine? Ati.
Sir, why now?
Ati, unmute yourself.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. I've updated my code, but I sent a DM. You haven't replied yet.
Okay, problem is I already promised that I will not respond to DMs that is concerning previous task anymore, like the MacBook. But then I will look at it. I will look at it.
Okay, thank you, sir. I sent the link.
Is still reactive?
Yeah, sorry, simple.
No,
so please let me address that.
Okay.
Sorry, simple. So let me address that.
All right, boss.
Yeah, concerning reviewing of tasks, it's not only simple so that can review tasks. Go to the main group, the front end group, and see you have drop a message that you have made changes to your tasks. Simple so might be busy. I might be free. I can check it on the spot and tell you what to do. If what is simple so is having a class currently and you're saying you have made the change, I am quite free. I can just go to your site instantly, check it, and give you a review. It's not only simple so. Just drop a message on the front end group, on the front end chat, so that it's going to be easy for someone to be able to track it. If everybody is sending a DM to simple source, then some of your message will go down and you won't be able to see. But if you send it to the front end channel on Discord, it is something that if people who does not see it, I would see it and I will go back there to check it. It's not rocket science, guys. Please. Thank you. Simple, so you can go
Okay,
ahead.
so sorry, I still have a question.
Actually, I called you. I was thinking you left the call. I was trying to reach out to you concerning the submission.
Yeah, my network was glitching. My network
Okay,
was
okay. Thank
glitching.
you very much. Okay, so you guys, that's it. You can always reach out. Feel free, instead of coming to my DM, I've not been responding to plenty DM, right? So instead of that, you can just, okay, on the group, on the front end, I've made changes, and all of that. So Akimobala will always attend for myself in case I'm free. So thank you. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, Ati, you said you have another question.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Are we supposed to add the CodePen link to the group also?
What CodePen link?
You don't need to add your CodeCamp link, just your name. Just your name that you used to submit. So I can always, it's going to be easier for me to trace.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Oh yeah, session. Gospel.
Yeah. My question is so it's not even a question. It is you said something while you were teaching for Android users or mobile users how to create repository. So I found a solution.
Okay, good.
You put your phone on desktop mode and then you see the plus sign there.
Okay. That's the cheats. All right, that's interesting. That's
And
cool.
then
Okay.
my extra mark code.
Well, you talk to Femi Blaze now. So, I mean,
Well, please never answering me.
so that one is you and Femi Blaze.
Who is Jason? Jason.
It's Gospel.
What's your name?
Gospel.
Is that gospel? Gospel,
Yes,
you're not serious. I will not answer you. I will not answer you. You called me
sir.
yesterday night. You have messaged me this morning. I will not answer you.
Femi please, I beg, na beg, I beg.
I will not answer you. I will not answer you. I will check it. I will check
Even
it.
the thing that people still say we should do today, the services, I've done that one. Just help me, sir. I need 100.
Don't worry, I'll check it. I'll check it.
Thank you, sir.
Abire. Why?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
I don't understand.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Abire.
Yeah, so I'm still having issues with my git dash bash, sorry. Okay, if I will get up to the git repo and all that. So how can I get assistance after this class?
I don't know if families
Yeah, so simple so.
Yes,
Let me address that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Everybody that has issue, let's pick a time. You have to join with your system, so you can always share your screen, and I would put you through how to go about it step by step. I think if it's Git issues, yes, everybody can come. I'll be free anytime from probably 8 p.m. this night. So around that time, you can just create a Google Meet link and send a link to the group, and I will join. Anybody that joins that call has an issue with Git. Each person that's issue and the issue is you would display your screen and will tell you how to go about it step by step. Is that fine by everybody?
So anyone who is having Git issue, please let's just drop our hand now. If you know you're having Git issue, you can always reach out. We can choose the time on the group chat, so we can just decide when it's going to be convenient for ourselves and the mentor. Okay, Jasmine.
Yeah, good afternoon. Sorry. I have a problem with my score. Not really. But then I did my task and I did it up to date how I'm supposed to do it. But then you said it had some errors. So I would like to know those errors on the project. So I can
Jasmine, what's your full name? What's your full name?
Temiloluwa Habe.
All right. So boss is going to attend. I believe, well, I can't remember grading you, Sha, but then, however, boss will actually respond to you. Jizzy Kamzi, please, if you have been attending to, kindly just drop your hand so we can know that, okay. Jasmine, boss is actually on your matter right now. It will attend to you as soon as possible. Jizzy, the question.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I just want to appreciate everyone. Not that I have a question, but then I don't understand anything today.
You do not understand anything today.
Yes.
Why? Did you join the lecture late? Did you join the class late? Or what happened exactly?
Yeah, I think I joined the class late, but then
Okay.
I'll appreciate the class by 8 by at night.
At night, I'm not sure that will be happening tonight. Well, we are going to be having a
Blaze.
session with Femi Blaze.
Okay.
Okay? We're going to be having a session with Femi Blaze. I don't know which time you guys will actually fix. So you can join. Who is laughing? You can join that session with Femi Blaze, and then
All right.
it's not a rocket science, as you have said. It's not a rocket science. So it's a simple thing. Just within 3 or 4 minutes, you get everything you need to know. All right, boss.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I think George. Okay, George Usang.
So simple. So let me answer Temiloluwa straight up.
Okay. Justin. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Temiloluwa. If you check the picture that was on the design, the quick service that has a 24 hours in between it, it has a 24 hours there. It's not as wide as that. And there is some extra shadow, like it's not directly placed on the image. There should be some space, like it should be outside. It should be like it is on the image, but some space outside. Same for the dot and also the 4/5 rating. And also the picture is small. If you check the design, the picture was a little bit larger than that.